I'm going to tell you a story. First thing you have to understand is time does not work the way you think it does. You can call me Oracle because I'm the one who's talking to you. Welcome to the cult. Now, last time we left on Balamara Na Hiti. Hopefully by the end of this, since I'm getting close to the end of it, I'll get it right by saying the whole thing. Balamara Na Hiti Marga, or the Fool's Banner of Dying errand, path. Pada, step. Vedaza was last, or step 12 was last. And now we're on to Pada Treodaza. But they did it. Well, they prayed the and they Buddha, and the way of them there too. For that is the way of death and transitions too. Alright. Now, start with this. So, the Marcus starts waking up to the hermit, and he has an awful hangover. Death, end, mortality, destruction, corruption, reverse, inertia, sleep, lethargy, petrification, somnambulism, or sleepwalking. When the Merkur gets up, he can smell coffee. He's just like, oh, cough. I didn't eat enough bread last night before I started drinking. I'm in rough shape. 13, death, the end of something. Accept the inevitable. Things eventually die. Situations end. A new phase can only begin when old phase ends. In transition, going from a known to an unknown situation. Bereft over loss, grief, mourning. Reverse meaning. Negativity, nihilism, refusing to let go, fear of death and the unknown. Glad that something has ended. And the first words out of the Merca's mouth is literally, and the hermit kind of laughs. Have enough rough night, kid? You had your visions last night, didn't you? And the Merca is stirred from his desire for to A, not be hungover, and B, for coffee, by the fact that the hermit just knew. He's like, how? Alright, I'm gonna start with saying if you look at your hands, you won't see them. But stir appeared while you were sleeping. I saw them this morning. They're there. I can see them, but you won't be able to. I mean, maybe you can, but I doubt it. You can almost never see your own stir. Stir is a word for a dot or a mark. And so you can almost never see your own stir. Death. You are involved in a great transformation. This was one of the greatest transformations you have known. You must go through the change alone. You will be reborn into newness, but first you must face your darkest fears. Do not forget, the darkest hour is just before dawn. And the kid's like, oh, yeah, I did. Okay. Here's some coffee. And the Merca's like, oh, thank you. Oh, go on. Did you put more of that juniper stuff in? The juniper stuff that the Merca is referring to is gin. It's one of the boozes that the hermit had on hand in his Asurama. And the Merca's like, oh, now that I know what they mean by Raman of the Badea, of hair of the dog, that is. And the hermit laughs a little bit. Not quite. Out of curiosity, how many did you see? 6? Maybe 7. Oh, like 10. Is that a good thing? The hermit's eyes widen a bit. He's like, yeah, that's a great thing. Drink up, drink up. Finish off your coffee. The merchant nods. Is like, mm. Oh god. Oh, it tastes like pie. It's not that juniper stuff? Nope. No, that's hemlock. What? But, but, but. I had to finish this because the merchant finished it. But it's, but hemlock is poisonous. Why would you do that? You'll be fine. The hermit just goes like this. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I mean, like, you'll be fine. I mean, you will Pashka Tom Yadi, but you'll be fine. You'll return the 5 Alvinites, but you'll be fine. You'll die, but you'll be okay. Wait, what? And then the merchant starts dying on the spot, and he look, and the hermit kind of rolls over his body and looks down at him like this, like, try not to fall in love with the Caladula, okay? It's a very natural thing, but like, trust me, I understand it'll be hard under the circumstances, but try not to fall in love with the Caladula. You'll embarrass yourself. I know I did. And the hermit's face fades away, and all of a sudden, he's just in, like, the warmest, happiest place he's ever been. Everything is beautiful. Everything is sweet. It's like he's back home. It's like he's back home. And he's looking at the most beautiful woman he's ever seen ever. And he's like, I love you. I'll do anything you want. Please marry me. I don't remember my name. And she looks at him, nods. Touches his forehead and says, Thurio Dana Virya Shana Mutra. When the person who touched your forehead last spoke, what did he say? Oh, Tisama. And she nods and says, Prakristata. Translation. The mark on his forehead, which I'm not going to repeat because it's extremely long, is the mark of heroism. Tisama means we stand, and Prakristata means transcendental excellence. She takes both of his hands, and she lifts the one that was touched by Nargal, and says, Narakapaga. What did both of the pine and those of the scarab say? Oh, they said, if you're talking about the ones I think, Zerna, Zernuma, we hear. She nods. Raja. That's transcendental wisdom. Then she takes the other hand, the one that was touched by, Dormos, the shepherd. What did the one on the cross say? I am. And the Merca is very sad by this law, because the man on the cross seems very sad to him. And she nods. Diva Dasa. That means heaven's slave. Naraka Varga means Hell's Chapter. She nods, says, Paramita, transcendental virtue. What was the last thing you heard? She asks, letting go of his hands, and he's sad because the pretty lady's letting go of his hands. It's like, oh, that was, Prayati Sarvavanyan. I like that. She smiles, nods. And she takes him by the chin, tilts his head down, and kisses on the forehead, and says, Mirtu Sutta. Adivarta te Mirtu. And then he just feels like, it's all of a sudden like his entire body gets like fish hooked in the back in a non-painful way and goes whoop, and he's just like whisked out of there. And this is Oracle ripping up the trail, Daza with the way of Mirta, Kala, Dula, the way of the death and the angels of the earth. And that will be it until there be 14, and then we'll seek other and more and doulas of weave, and they be of the doula. Kala do they try not to fall in love with the Kala doula, hey, but that would be natural, so say, that's the way the doula will present always, and that's what you say. When you see an angel, you're like, please marry me, okay? That's sort of natural thing to say. Or so I believe, and that would not belabor in a point to say.